Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Geraldine, and I'm the very privileged co-host of today's webinar, Reigniting Your Marriage and Love Life. To give you a little intro on myself, I'm first and foremost a very keen practitioner on inner work towards self-realization. In fact, I used to volunteer at a mindfulness center as a facilitator, trainer, counselor, focusing on educating and heightening skills in self-awareness and self-inquiry in daily living. So currently, I'm enrolled in professional psychotherapy and schema therapy certification courses at the International Psychology Center with Dr. Edward. So my interest in mind work extends deeply into relationships as well, because I believe that a balanced, healthy, functional relationship can grow a person's well-being to live a better quality life, while a dysfunctional one can literally kill you. Although we are generally able to survive and live on our own, but we cannot deny that the intricate mechanics of a relationship makes life very much sweeter. We are very privileged this afternoon to have Dr. Edward Chan speak to us on the topic of reigniting your marriage and love life. He is an accredited couple and sex therapist with the Couple and Sex Therapy Boards of Malaysia, Association of Psychotherapy, and the International Society of Psychotherapy, Counseling and Psychiatry. He is also a licensed trainer of the Couple and Marriage Inventory Prepare and Reach. Dr. Edward has also been invited as a speaker for the 9th World Congress for Psychotherapy 2020 and the 37th European Psychiatry Conference 2019 on couple schema chemistry. Also a keynote speaker for the 4th International Psychotherapy Counseling and Psychiatry Conference in 2020 on couple schema therapy. He is also the author of Love is Never Enough on Couple Psychotherapy, Positive Psychology Couple Schema Therapy, published in the Journal for Reattached Therapy and Developmental Diversities 2019, Positive Psychology Couple Therapy, published in the International Journal of Psychiatry 2018. So you can see that Dr. Edward is a very qualified person to speak on this topic of relationships. Now, despite the many controversial views on Dr. Edward's approaches, he has helped many individuals and couples to work on their relationships positively. Now, I have to admit that relationships are not very easy. And I remember my teacher asking me once, Geraldine, between money and relationships, which one is a harder lesson in life? And without a doubt, I told him relationships, because money don't talk back. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Edward to share his insights on how do we reignite our love life and marriages. Over to you, Dr. Edward.
Thank you, Geraldine. Yeah, so the title, How to Reignite, would suggest that we need to do that. that somehow our relationship has suffered, maybe allowed after the initial honeymoon period, I presume. So that's will be probably what most couples find true. We have all this excitement initially, but then, and I don't know whether you're familiar with the term, the 7-year itch, but nowadays it probably doesn't take 7 years for a relationship to reach a lull. And we need to identify what are the reasons for our relationship and reaching a plateau or even dipping after initial period, right? And for me, it is because we have many different types of expectations and needs, and maybe many of these we are not even aware of, right? I think on your intro you might have mentioned that I'm a trainer for a certified trainer for this tool called Prepare and Reach by Dr. David Olson. He's a clinical psychologist that come up with this tool that help couple. There's 2 versions of it. There's a Prepare and Reach, right? So we all do like health check, physically, but we don't do relationship health check or even a psychology health check. And this is something that I would recommend from time to time. But certainly the Prepare version of the tool really get couple to do exploration even before they get into marriage. I think in certain religious organization, I think the Catholic Church and maybe the Muslim tradition as well, you do premarital counseling. I think that is a brilliant idea. It's a way of, because we in a marriage, you're getting together, even though you might be of the same race, let alone as intercultural marriages, but even if you are of the same race, you are essentially putting together people from very different system, cultural value system, and definitely there are going to be clashes, subconscious classes, subconscious needs not being met, and moreover today, we put all our needs into a relationship, right? In the old days, many of these needs are probably met by the community, by the village. But today, everything is put onto the relationship to be met, and the relationship has therefore is taking on a lot of pressure, which it might or might not be able to meet. So that is the complexity of the situation, of why, first of all, before we get to the point of reignition, we need to understand why our relationship has dipped, has come to the point where it needs reigniting, right?
Yeah. So Doctor, I'm just very curious, like during courtship, right? During courtship, it's very common that, we are always trying to satisfy the need of the other person first. It's like, if you're happy, then I'm happy. If I see a smile on her face, then I'll be happy. But somehow along, when the relationship or the marriage, when the marriage happens or when the relationship gets more serious, it somehow very naturally and subconsciously turns to my needs are not satisfied. Instead of like instead of like what was before, like that's the reason why I fell in love with you, because you put my needs first, and then suddenly it's all about your needs, that kind of thing, and that's how fights begin, right? Yeah. So why the switch?
Well, in fact, there are many different needs. Even my needs, which need are you talking about, right? Because essentially we have many parts. In fact, we can even say that there are many different selves in each person. I have a need for romance. I have a need for passion, but I have a need to have stability as well. And many of these needs are almost inconsistent. They are like clashing with each other, right? So it is because we all have many different parts. In psychological term, we can call it modes or even cells. Psychology of cells. So that's the thing that we have all these the different needs, which we need to understand and be aware of, right? And which is why we do sometimes recommend therapy, couple therapy for couples to be aware of their different needs, which stemming from different parts of them, right? And all these different parts are developed throughout their history. We get to the point here throughout evolution, from our whole environmental system, family system, our development, from relationship, and as a result, we are not marrying another just one individual person. We are marrying into a system. All right, I know you probably heard of this system theory of a relationship by Virginia Satir, Mnuchin, Salvador Mnuchin. So these are all great thinkers who really help us to understand the complexity of relationship. When we think we have only one need, and then we find that somehow we lose ourselves, our needs are not met, but in reality we have all these different needs. So we need to be aware of all these different needs, and be able to have through the awareness, we move into what we call the conscious marriage. right? So the problem with many of us is we are in a unconscious relationship and unconscious marriage. So all these unconscious desires and needs surface without us being aware of it, without us knowing that they are there, and we are having conflict with our partner because of all this pulling in different directions, right?
Mm. So, doctor, there is a possibility where after we understand like our unconscious needs, and we also understand the unconscious need of our partners, that there is a possibility, there's a great possibility to meet somewhere, or is it like because I understand my needs now, I go satisfy my needs, and then I don't put the responsibility on you if you can't fulfill it. I mean, how I remember there was a time when you said something about need negotiation, you know, that it sounds like it takes away the romantic, airy fairy kind of feeling, you know, in the fairy tale, in a romance, you know, in a relationship. It's like
Yes.
I had to tell you, then you give it to me, you know.
Yeah. So this might be due to an unrealistic expectation by some party, may be propagated by the Hollywood tradition, that, you know, if you love me, you would know what my needs are. I don't have to tell you, right?
Yeah, that's right, that's right. You know, there's like a perfect man, prince in shining armor, in a white horse. Yes.
Yes, of course, of course, it is nice to be understood, you know, to be known, and we long for that, and so certainly this is a language that I train couples to do. You know, you can like tell each other that, you know, this must, I can imagine whatever you might be feeling. I can imagine, you know, this must hurt you, and then your partner will tell you whether you got the feelings right or not. So it doesn't matter. So what is important, as you take the effort to try to know your partner. Your partner will give you that credit, you know, rather than you just assume that they will feel this or that, right? Or you, worse still, you don't even attempt to get to know how they feel. So it doesn't matter that you do not know precisely what your partner needs, but you try to make an attempt that is good enough, right? But the point is, your partner have different needs, just like you yourself. All right. So we have two complex system that is interacting, right? So we need to, when you are negotiating, you need to know what is it, who it is that you're negotiating with. Are you negotiating with the adventurer of your partner? Are you negotiating with the child of your partner? Are you negotiating with the mother? All right. Are you negotiating with the lover? So there are so many different aspects of your partner, as well as yourself, that you need to know how to balance all this negotiation as well, right?
It sounds like, you know, Dr. Edward, eventually you become a therapist as well, like knowing what, when, you know, when we deal with our partners, is that we ourselves become like therapists. Oh, okay, the mother has come up, so let's use this approach, and then the child has come up, then let's use this approach.
Yeah, in fact, it is Eric Byrne, you know, one of our pioneer in transactional analysis, the form of psychotherapy. So in transactional analysis, every conversation is a transaction, right? Every point. Now we have been talking, you know, for a few minutes, but at every point, you know, I'm engaging your parent, your child, you know, different part of you. So that there is a match. That's a transaction, and actors know that, and that's why they can be great actors and actresses, because they are embodying that transaction. You know, but that is the reality. So we need just to train ourselves. We don't need to be therapists per se, but we just need to be very attuned which part of the cells of our partner we are engaging. So this is also an amazing way to keep the relationship interesting and alive, right? Because for many of us, we feel bored after a while. We thought, oh, we know everything about our partner, but in reality we don't, because our partner has so many different cells, the different part of them, that if we put some effort to try to know them, then this will keep the relationship interesting and refreshing for us. All right.
Doctor, what if, say, because the relationship takes two, right? What if one was able to master that and the other is not able to? So one is like constantly being attuned. I mean, is there a possibility? Because I also remember you also mentioned that it's like our partners are like our shadows. You know, when the part that annoys us, we are attracted to each other's like our own shadows in our partners. It's the parts that we want to heal. Can you share a little bit about that as well?
I think that there might need to be certain criteria, if you like, right, for to make a relationship successful. And by the way, the statistics is really bad. Right? I mean, we are talking about marriage, right? The statistics of nearly 50% failure.
Yeah.
So that is a very pessimistic statistics, right? And yet, what gives us heart, right, is that the research, the statistics also show those who are so-called fail, and I don't believe in this word fail, right, per se, in the marriage, they get a divorce or whatnot. They about almost like nearly 70-80% of them would want to either get into a second relationship, either remarry or cohabitate, right? And that repeat itself. So it's not that they get disheartened, but there's this need to have a relationship, and that is something that we need to commend on our fellow travelers, right? So despite the high negative outcome, right, of almost 50% failure, we don't give up that easily. Most of us will keep on trying, and here as couple therapists, we have a amazing work to help all our fellow travelers, all these people. So your question is what again?
What if there's an imbalance of
oh yes, of this, so there need to be certain criteria, and one of the simplest basic criteria is just that you are willing to explore, you're willing to seek growth, right? And this is really I would say for me, the most beautiful reason to be here on this earth, that we are learning, we are seeking experience. Otherwise, why bother, right? We have all these resources, even with the COVID, for us to keep on learning and reaching our experience. And relationship give us this wonderful, and some people might even say inescapable resource, right? On your own, I mean, you probably have seen that, people on their own, they're different. But in a relationship, they are different. So with a relationship, there's so much more that we can learn even about ourselves, that we behave differently at different time with different people, right? So the relationship brings that out. So if we have someone who is unwilling to explore, they feel that they know it all, and you know they're unwilling to have this what we call binocular, at least binocular view, let alone multi, I don't know whether that's the word, multi-perspective view, right? Rarely. So we need that would be the most basic criteria, I would say, of a partner. We need to find someone who is willing to be open to have a dialogue with you, that never stops, that never ends. As long as we're alive, we are learning new things, we're learning about ourselves, we have experience, and we continue to enter into this beautiful open dialogue. But once your partner say, I know everything about you, I know everything about myself, I'm not going to bother learning anything more, then you will outgrow your partner. And
yeah, Dr. Albert, I have come across many people who have relationship problems, and the thought of going to see a therapist, okay, so
yeah,
seeing your good self, I think not many, I think I think comparatively, the majority of the people still have the perception of like, no, I am not going to see someone to save my relationship.
yeah.
So
and why is that?
I don't know, maybe they think like, I think maybe it's an arrogant, or maybe it's like, they lose faith. I don't know. So I'm just thinking like, how can, say, a person who is interested to go for couple therapy, speak to their spouse, to their partner, from a perspective where, from a decent perspective, where it helps the partner to be open-minded, that they're not, because a lot of people are afraid of their shadows. A lot of people are afraid of their own shadows, and also they may perceive that they like it's like it's my relationship and I have to go so low to seek a counselor, but they want to save their marriage. But there is a tinge of pride, and I feel that this pride is because they don't really understand why it's necessary. They're doing it to save the marriage, but they're not wholeheartedly. So I think it's more of a perception thing. So like, as a partner who's trying to get their partner into a therapy together to, say, reignite passion. So how can this partner tell his or her spouse or her partner, or how can a therapist help them understand what this whole work is about, that it's actually not that scary? I think, yeah. You're not doing the person a favor. You're not doing your spouse a favor. You're also doing yourself a favor.
Totally.
I mean, it has to be both parties. But a lot of times when I see people going for therapy, they're going, oh, I'm going it because my husband wants me to go, or my wife wants me to go. It's always about the other person. It's not about, they find it embarrassing, actually. So how do we present it to the way that it's actually not an individual that I'm helping my spouse thing, but something that a couple should be going through together? We all know that, but how they feel is another aspect of it, Doctor.
I guess couple come to see a therapist at different stages, right, of their relationship. And I hope couple do come at this romantic honeymoon stage, but very few will. Right?
They feel they don't need help.
Yeah, but that would be a very good time to come. Otherwise, they will go through. So in David Olson's work that we did, we divide couples into different types of couple, right? Those that are vitalized, that are open, like how I described, to the traditional couple, right, where they're relegated to roles, and this was how it was probably for our grandparents' time. There were clear roles, right? The man is the breadwinner, the woman stay at home and bring up the kids, right? And that is fine, but then that is not very romantic either, right? And all the way down to devitalized couple where they are like stonewalling each other. And in our intro, we talk about the masters and the disasters. So there are a few things that you do, that turn your marriage into a disaster. when you condemn each other. For example, you use anger, and there are couples that come to our therapy room with those type of communication. And of course, we are able to help them at this stage, yeah. But at different stage, we need to have different ways to help them reconnect. But whatever it is, both party have this need to reconnect. All right. Deep down, we all long for connection. But it's just that sometimes it is hidden under our world of anger, our hurts, behind anger is normally the hurts, the hurt of being ignored or being abandoned, so we need to, as a therapist, help partner to reconnect at those levels. I would like to think of the therapist rather than as therapist or as the doctor. We are more the facilitator. All right. So the real therapist actually is each party in the relationship, right? So when they reconnect, that's amazing healing, right? You can see that. I see that, when I help couples to reconnect, they embrace each other. There's such great emotions and energy when they reconnect, and they therefore provide the healing for each other. So they are each other's doctors. We are just mere facilitator to facilitate that to happen, the process, and then after that they will know that. So back to the reigniting the passion. All right. So what is passion? Right? Passion is many. You need to know which part of the person of the party is. It is mainly the playful child, right? Each of us have a child in us. We call it the natural child, the free child, right? That when we come into the world, we want to play, we want to explore, we are trusting, and this is the part that was initially at the forefront with a partner that help them to connect, and play. They go dating, they write poem, they sing songs to each other, So these are the playful parts that were connecting, but somehow, through the months and years, it all taken a backstage, or maybe even suppressed, and eventually disowned, hidden amongst all the other selves. So as therapists, as facilitator, we need to bring back that part. So there's a term I use called re-romanticizing, right? I will find out what did they used to do when they were doing courting, and getting them to do back some of these activities, right? And many of these activities might be very physical, and that's great, involving some physical activities, getting them to do that. So one of the unfortunate habits couples got into is the thing that, courtship is only for, before your marriage. Well, one very interesting statistics that you may or may not know is that people find that with marriage, compared to couples who signed a piece of paper getting married, and then couples who do not, the chance of breakup is much higher with those that get married.
Because yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that goes to show you that somehow couples, especially those that get into marriage or in a stable relationship, that they feel that courtship needs to end, right? That they already know everything about each other. They don't need to play. They don't need to have this courtship, and that's not true. All right. You can continue to court your partner and try to get to know them, and this is what will keep the passion alive, right?
Yes, but, doctor, repeating the activities that they used to do in courtship, I think
Yeah.
a lot of couples who has problems, they try to do that, and sometimes they don't really work. It's like there is this wall of hurt and anger that is there to, it's like they want to connect, but they can't. They really want
Yes.
to have that fun, to reconnect to the old time, but they can't anymore because of the, so I guess this is where the facilitator, the therapist will come in to facilitate the to release the emotions before the good times can return.
Yes. So no doubt with many couples that there are barriers, right, of hurts that needs to be clear. And it is important. In fact, one of the exercise that I give couples to do when I want homework is to say one thing. You know, I think it's important to have rituals in relationship. You know, for me, I really enjoy that 10 minutes, you know, before bed with my wife, and we chat, you know, about things. That's a nice ritual. But so for couples, I would set them this ritual to do, to say, you know, to have a conversation about what they enjoy, right, with each other recently, maybe on that day or yesterday, but also to say what they did not enjoy, right? And for many couples, this is left out, but it is important to mention that as well, and you do that in a way that you know, it's not condemning the person, right? It is maybe you recognize that the thing that you didn't enjoy maybe is from one part of your partner, right, rather than from the total selves, and something you appreciate of your partner. Right. So this sort of conversations are important so that we can clear away this barrier of anger. You know, behind every anger, after all, is an unmet needs, right? So we need to find out what are those unmet needs, and then help to heal our partner.
Yeah, but you know, doctor, sometimes I mean, the very reason why sometimes couples don't tell the other person like they're upset or something that they don't like about their partner is because they are concerned like that you will bring unhappiness. So as much as they try their best to not say in a way that is blaming or that's putting down or condescending, the other
Yes.
party may take it wrongly, and then you know it,
So this is why we need to recognize behind every criticism and blame is a unmet needs not fulfilled. It's a wish, right? Behind every blame and criticism is a wish, right? You know, you come home late. You know, I wish you were you know, with me for the whole night. So it's a matter of recognizing that wish and expressing it. Because if you express it as blame and as condemnation, then the chance of you getting your needs met, you know, by your partner is so much lower. Whereas if you turn it into a nice request, you will increase that. And after all, even though we are married, you know, to each other, we certainly don't have the God-given right to make any demand on each other, which sometimes, you know. So we this is the new 20th century is different from our you know, ancestors, our great grandfathers, where they were like in total expectations. You know, I demand to have my dinner making and all that. So, you know, we expect demand sex, but we don't have any more rights for that. All right, and that's great. I think that's why I said that you know, for some of us we feel, you know, we have failed, but no, it's not necessarily a failure. You know, things change in our
just haven't
new
found the way
era.
it worked. Like what
Yeah.
I think Thomas Edison said, I just found don't know how many thousand ways that didn't work. or is
Well,
it the flying inventor? Yeah.
well, or maybe the expectations that a marriage need to last a whole lifetime need to be updated.
So it doesn't?
Well, it's a open thing. I mean, we all have needs, right? And when those needs are not met, we need to try to get them met, right? So that is the issues. I mean, it is certainly the one way to look at it, but certainly I don't think that there need to be a hard and fast rule that the marriage must last a lifetime, and if it doesn't, that you feel like a failure. You feel like you have failed, and that is pretty a big burden for anyone to bear. I would say.
Doctor, you
Right?
don't see that the allowance of ease makes it easier to walk away from the marriage or the relationship without really trying?
I certainly think that both parties need to put the effort into making a relationship work. Yeah, that definitely, and not blame each other for for any issues. It is a dance, a collaboration, right? And it needs to be that way. The minute that one party stop trying to grow and reach out and understand themselves and each other, then this is when you have the issue, of
So true,
stagnation.
doctor. Yes, I used to ask. I asked my husband this question once. I said, when do you think the couple divorced? When does a couple actually divorce? Then he, I asked a lot of people this, and a lot of people think, oh, when they sign the papers, or when they move out from the house, when they sleep on a separate bed. I said, no, actually, the divorce started when they stopped talking, when they stopped wanting to connect. That's when they've given up connecting. That's when the divorce has happened. The real divorce happened. What happens after that is no longer important. Like whether they sleep on the same bed or the separate bed, same house or different house, or even whether the papers are signed. The divorce happens when they stopped trying.
Yes, that is very, very true. It is the effort rather than the outcome, right? As long as both have the effort, which comes with knowledge as well, right? So knowledge plus effort might lead to a good outcome.
Yes. So, doctor, I think being the playful child, as we were children before, we love to please our parents and see our parents smile and laugh. So, I would suppose that the playful child in our relationship also love to do that for our partners. We love to please our partners, to make them happy.
Well, we want to play with our partner.
Yes.
Right.
So how do we become the lover that our partners desires without losing ourselves? Because sometimes they change. Some people change the totality of themselves to please their partners, but I don't think that works. So how can people be their partner's desire,
right,
without losing themselves?
Yeah, so this goes back to what we were saying before. So sex is another form of communication, right? And of course there are many different type of sex as well, which is stemming from the different part of us, right? So we need to understand what is it that our partner wants, and what is it that we want with which part of us, and from there then we are able then to have a good transaction, right? It is a transaction, right? So if we feel like in a romantic mood, for candlelight and of soft music and all that, and our partner do not, they are stressed out, that they want to be distressed, then then we are at the opposite end of things. But that part of our partner is still there, you know. It's just that we need to understand where our partner is, you know, where we are at that point in time, and see whether we can meet, you know. This remind me of this poem by the Fritz Perl, you know. He was saying that you know, the Gestalt prayer, you know, that we, you know, we have a certain needs. Our partner have a certain needs, and hopefully we can meet each other, you know, along the way, right? And then we'll, you know, with our understanding now, we will try our best to do that, of course, right? But if not, then this is why ending is not necessarily a failure. You know, it's just that you're both are having a different journey, maybe at this, you know, stage of your life, right? That's needs to happen too for your own journey. Another great psychologist is that thought about this is and Scott Peck. You know, he was using the metaphor of climbing the mountain. That both of us, you know, in a relationship, we climb the mountain separately, right? But we rest in that same what you call that, you know, you climb some mountain, you have a point where you rest, right? In Mount Kinabalu, you have that certainly the 2/3 of the way, you know, you spend like overnight and then tomorrow morning. So relationship is like that place where you both meet together, recharge. But your journey of life is essentially individualistic, right? You have your own journey. You cannot travel together all the time, right? You would suffocate each other, right? So that is a developmental stage in a relationship. What we are after is this interdependency of a relationship rather than codependency. So there is this big problem in relationship in codependency, where we feel that we need to do everything together, and you suffocate each other. You know, you do not progress above this certain stage, right? So yes, we need to facilitate this this playing, you know, with a free child with each other, but we need to see whether that playful child is there in our partner. All right, and then whether we can surface that playful child. If not, then we need to find that playful child, right? And then that's where romance come in, right?
Doctor, I mean, it sounds like then it's not really compulsory for couples to stay together. Because if they stay together, they are together all the time. You know, they don't really have their own space. They go and do their own thing. They come back. They don't have their own space. And you know, it looks like it's better. Like, you know, they live separately and then they come back, or they meet at a certain point to recharge. And
yeah, so having their own space is you know, is a way, in a way, is important to make those when they get back together, they miss each other, and the distance, you know, become even less. So that in between space is important as well. All right, not do together all the time. Yeah. So some people talk about compromise, right? In relationship, we need to compromise, you know, like you know, maybe your partner don't like the jungle, and you love the jungle, and your partner love the beach. Then you know, and then that happens, right? So what do? You go to somewhere in between, then none of you feel happy. You stay in a town or something, you know, yeah, a bit of both. so what do you do in that situation? Maybe you need to go to the jungle, and your partner need to go to the beach, and then you meet back and share the experience, or you try to reach out for this other part of your partner, all right, or in yourself, that might be able to enjoy the beach, and really do that. So I believe that it is possible to relate in a way that is about stretching, getting to know about the other part of yourself and your partner without compromise, of any part of yourself in a way where you feel, you need to make a sacrifice. That is
being open-minded and exploring.
indeed, yes, yeah.
So, doctor, what does it take to be an accredited sex and couple therapist? I mean, do you have to be in like a happy marriage? Do you have to be, be in a successful marriage, a relationship?
Well, I mean, that is obviously an intimate, no pun intended, between sex and love, right? And in my book, Love is Never Enough, I mentioned that if you look after the relationship, the sex will look after itself. And in many ways that is true, right? But of course, in sex, it is about enhancing this playful part of yourself, and that's why, when couple lose that intimacy of able to be the lover they used to be, then the passion in their relationship normally dies as well, and a big part of their relationship closed down. All right, that is a tragedy. That is not to say that the relationship can't go on. Of course, it can as well in other ways, right? So to be an accredited couple therapists and sex therapists, these are two, in a way, two different discipline, and we have different boards in MFP governing them, and and you need to understand all these type of therapy and processes, right? And we have courses at IPC to teach them not only the didactic one, but also the clinical aspects that they're able to show that they are able to help couples, in terms of the theoretical process, and also in the clinical work to be able to help couple, right? I mean, you ask, do you yourself need to be like
you know all the tricks, right? All the law to make it beautiful.
Yes, I would say, we all are work in progress, right? And we definitely need to apply this learning to ourselves, and I that definitely do that in my relationship, and my relationship, and as well as my work with my patients, is one of the way that helped me in my teaching, in my research, in my presentation. So it's a pretty collaborative process, with my patients, my students, my teachers, right? So that's is what it takes. You need to be open to learning yourself, and collaborating with others. But definitely there is a process and system as well from those who have thought about these things, who have shown some successes in what they do. They have a process. We can have a look at it. But at the end of the day, like many writing thinker, things like Jeff Young, we all can make a difference, right? Each of us can contribute something new to the process, to the therapeutic process, to our own lives, or lives of our marriage, in our relationship, the lives of our friends and family members. You know, we can all make a difference. So we need to have that confidence, you know, to do that, the willingness to do that, you know, and the willingness to collaborate with our partner, I believe, right? Hmm.
So we have covered a lot for this session, and we have 9 minutes more. Is there anybody
Yes.
who has any questions for Dr. Edward? Please use this opportunity to ask as many questions about relationships as you want with Dr. Edward. We're very, very privileged that this session is dedicated to this very important aspect of our lives. Any questions, anybody?
Yeah. And why was it that you are interested in this topic yourself, Geraldine?
Well, I started out because I was in my inward journey, so I have this. I find that I can't see myself. Sometimes I can't see myself well. Like I don't know what I am until there's someone that appears, and in my experience, I'm able to tell who I am or how I'm
Yes.
reacting, my attitude. So they are like my mirrors. So I mean, of course, the nearest mirror will be my husband, my spouse, and I appreciate that a lot because I was a divorcee and then I was single, and I mean I really loved being a single mom at that time. I mean, I still in a way, okay, never mind. That's too complicated to explain. But what I'm trying to say is I do notice a difference of being alone and being in a relationship. I'm perfectly fine being by myself. It's very peaceful. Okay, there is no struggle of trying to balance myself, and because I'm the one that makes the decision all the time. But with a partner, I feel there's a kind of magnetism that is there, a kind of the kind of expansion of, it's kind of synergy to an experience when you're happy and someone is being happy with you. It's different. It's different, and I also noticed that with different people of my life, it's the kind of the level of happiness, the level of intimacy. It's also different. So of course, with the partner is the closest because you share everything with. You're supposed to share everything with the partner. So I found that when you're able to share all aspects of yourself unconditionally with your partner, the level of intimacy, not only in terms of sex, in terms of how you feel, it's incredible.
Yes.
That union, yes. So I believe that's very healing for people. But of course, to achieve that, every moment it's quite difficult because we still have our own needs. That we have still have other parts of ourselves that is not yet fully explored. So
Well, yeah. So I think that is the you know the myth, right? That we can be totally ourselves, but in reality, there are many part of us.
yes.
Right. So when we have that intimacy, right? It is intimacy. The way I see it is the ability to be ourselves, our many selves, you know, in the presence of our partner.
Yes,
Right.
that's what
So
I
as
mean.
long as we can do that and we can connect, we don't have to, you know, it's impossible to connect all ourselves with all our partner selves, but we can, you know, at each point try to do that, you know. So it's become very contextual, right? And it's very fluid. So if we are able to have that fluidity, versatility, then we really are able to be in a very healthy relationship, you know, with ourselves and our partner, right? So there is a question by someone who asked how to get your partner into therapy, right? So the issue is why that there is a reluctance, right? I think we mentioned that
Yes,
a bit initially. We need to understand what is the reluctance due to. the fear, right? And but I would think that a good incentive is to convey that, you know, in therapy you have a space whereby, you know, your partner's voice can be heard. You know, the therapist is able to facilitate a space for your partner to express themselves, which in your own room you might have difficulty doing that. So it's essentially initially about that, getting each other heard, and then from there, you know, we are able then to create a useful dialogue between both parties. All right. So I think everyone wants to be heard, wants their needs to be met, and you know, on their own that they find that difficult. So the therapist, as a professional trained therapist, will be able to do that. You know, to help their partner, each other do that. All right. So hopefully that answer the question. You know, I think party don't want to feel blame, right? And that's why they're reluctant. So the invitation is just for them to come in and give their perspective, and for us to be able to hear their, you know, their needs.
Sometimes they are not even aware that they're not relating at. Sometimes the P is talking and the C is responding, and then the P becomes the C, and then the C cannot. They are just fighting all the time. And they're not able to be attuned to each other but when the emotions start coming in. So a facilitator or a therapy will be able to balance out that space and
right.
mediate.
So by P and C, you mean the parent and the child?
Yes.
Right.
I think that happens a lot. Yeah.
And then you have the critical parent, the nurturing parent,
yes,
the
they all
salty
come
child.
into play. They have a party. They have a party. Yes.
Yeah. So a good facilitator, you're asking, you know, what is a good therapist? Will be someone that is trained to be able to facilitate this good dialogue. All right. And when the piece start to come in, the critical parents start to come in, and you have the free child here. You know, you ask him to hold on. You know, we will give you turn. We'll give you airspace later. Now let's hear what the playful child want to say, right? And we make those connections. So this is what a good couple and sex therapists are about. They're able to get the important part of each party connected, you know, reconnected, and so then the passion will flow, right? Good. Yeah. So I think that's it's a fascinating topic, you know, and we haven't even talk about the COVID, right?
Yes, the COVID has, I think brought couples together or bring them to the reality of their
so maybe we can end with just a quick reflection about the COVID, right? So the COVID certainly has I have seen couples who they say, you know, that they enjoy cooking together and doing all these things which before the COVID they didn't do. So that are some positive aspects on that. But they also have an opportunity to see the different selves of their partner. They see their partner at work, their partner, you know, mothering their children. So they give them an enriched perspective which they might or might not like, you know. So it is certainly an opportunity to have a dialogue about this enriched experience, which can be stressful or it can be enriching. So certainly we need to handle this COVID situation, but certainly it has bring in extra dimension in couples' lives, right? So that is my reflection for the COVID. You have something similar or?
Oh, actually, my husband and I are not together for 6 months already because he went back
Oh,
to Sydney in January, and he was supposed to come back in sometime in between to visit, but because of the COVID-19, so we have not seen each other or be with each other for more than 6 months.
mm,
So, but thank God for technology, we're able to video call each other and stay.
right,
Yeah, but
right.
we miss each other dearly, but but this is
Yeah,
our reality for now. Yeah.
right, right. Yeah. So that also
Having
is
too
an
much space.
aspect. Right.
Too much space. Yeah, but we're good. We're good. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Great. So I wish all everyone well, and that you continue to have this wonderful journey with your partner, that both of you continue to learn about yourselves through your partner, right? It becomes that you continue to have a very enriching dialogue with each other, and continue to grow, right? And then hopefully it will last a lifetime.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Edward, so much for your time and your sharing and your insights, and your tips, on how we should engage and relate and be attuned to our partners. I hope the participants here today have taken some nuggets of gold back, to work on their marriages or their relationships as well, and on themselves.
Yes. So yeah, don't be disheartened. There's no failure, only feedbacks. All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you, Dr.
Geraldine.
Edward.
Great,
Thank
great to
you.
chat. We
Yes,
will
thank you.
catch up
Good
again.
night. Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.